the sound of the drum that was playing repeatedly on my mind as I walked towards the gate. The sound of the crowd cheering echoes across the stadium as a young group of high schoolers walk into the field to give out the best performance yet, and all of a sudden there was silence. Silence that filled the area around me. And out of nowhere, a whirlwind of emotions, both happiness and sadness, filled my heart, filled my entire body as I knew that this was it. The words that proceeded next. Attention! Green Wave Pride. My story takes place on October 3rd, 2019. The day that my very last marching band competition as part of the Green Wave Marching Band took place. During the day, we had 2 marching band competitions. The first competition took place at Vanderbilt Stadium. That was the best performance we had so far of the season, but we knew we can do more. When we got on the bus going to Portland to compete, many of my peers were excited. The bus that I was in especially, everybody was beaming with excitement. There was a point on the bus ride there that a lot of my senior friends were making a commotion. They were singing songs, having a good time. But it got to the point where it got so loud that you could hear from the front of the bus, and they got in trouble. And I laughed, because I knew that I had to make every moment memorable. But there was also part of the drive there where everyone was quiet. Either they were listening to music or actually sleeping. Because we knew our time as a group was limited. About 15 minutes later, we finally arrived at Portland East Middle School. When we got off the bus, our band directors told us we have roughly about an hour to either eat or watch other bands perform. And during that time, I began to hang out with friends and eat. Even though I was having a great time with them, there was a part of me that did not want this day to end. Eventually, we got called up to get into our uniforms and walk into the designated area to go do some last-minute rehearsals. But this is when the self-doubt kicked in. I started to worry about every single little thing, such as the way I marched, the way I played my snare drum, and the way I held my sticks. And there was a point during our last-minute rehearsal that all the music that I had memorized, that I worked so hard for during this marching season, just slipped out of my mind. But this is when everything changed. My band director, Mr. Earl, he told the band to gather in a big circle. And the next thing he said, especially to our seniors, because he knew that this was our last time ever gonna march, he said, "Seniors, even though we had so many ups and downs during this marching season, I want to let you know that I've been very proud of you guys. That's been an honor to work with you these past 4 years, and I hope that you can go out there and give out your best performance yet." And the crowd and the band all cheered. We got lined up. We eventually walked back towards the stadium. It was during that time where my friend Devin, a fellow snare player, said, "Well, I guess this is it." And my friend Nick, who was also another fellow snare player, retaliated, saying, "It isn't over till it's over." But deep down, I knew that he didn't want this performance to end. Nick was kind of the guy who wanted to get things over with. He was very impatient, wanted to rush things. But for the very first time, I felt that he didn't feel that way. He didn't want this performance to end. He wanted to make more memories, and he started tearing up. And my friend Devin, who saw him tear up, reciprocated that feeling a few moments later. We eventually got onto the field. We played without our heart's content. The sound of the brass echoing across the stadium, that filled with a powerful presence that made the crowd even stand up and applaud. And in contrast, the woodwinds, who were giving out a nice melodic tone towards the crowd as it put everybody at ease. It was towards the end where the drumline, the backbeat of the band, was the driving force that pushed the march of the band towards the end of the show. Even though I felt self-doubt deep within me, I knew that I had to continue. I played with all my might. I surpassed my limits, as this was the best I could do for all the years I've been playing percussion. And by the time I hit the drum for the very last time, I said to myself, "It is over," as a stream of tears rolled down my eyes as we walked off the field. Thank you.